The world is a sea of grass, and it is hungry. Nearly 4 million years ago, during the late Miocene, the plains of South America are a new stage for the grand, bloody theater of evolution for a small clan of Australopithecus, our distant, upright-minded walking cousins. This world is a constant exercise in fear. They are a people of the edge, living in the borderlands between the safety of the sparse woodland and the deadly abundance of the open savanna. Their days are a tense rhythm of foraging, digging for roots, gathering nuts, snatching insects, all under the gaze of a vast, indifferent sky. Their hands are clever, their minds are stirring, but their bodies are small, slow, and soft. In this endless grass, they are prey. Their chief terror has a name they can only screech in alarm. It is a Phorusrhacid, the apex predator of this continent. It is not a cat that stalks with stealth, nor a pack of dogs that hunts with endurance. It is a 9-foot-tall bird, a feathered nightmare of muscle and bone. The first sign of its presence is a sudden, unnatural silence, as every smaller creature freezes. Then comes the sound, a deep, rhythmic drumming that travels through the soles of their feet, the footfalls of a running giant. And then, the sight, a head the size and shape of a horse's, armed with a cruelly hooked beak, bobbing above the grass like the periscope of a limb-bound shark. This is the brutal reality of their prehistoric life. They are hunted by a creature that seems to defy the very laws of nature. The attack, when it comes, is a lesson in biomechanical violence. A young male, intent on a patch of ripe berries, wanders a few fatal feet too far from the tree line. The terror bird explodes from the grass, a blur of grey and brown. It does not run so much as devour the distance, its powerful legs pumping like pistons. There is no chase. There is only an arrival. The male has no time to scream. The masu, axe-like beak descends once, a blow of impossible force that shatters bone and ends thought. The primal fear is absolute because the creature's speed is absolute. It is a living thunderbolt, and these early human ancestors are merely standing in the storm. The rest of the clan scrambles into the trees, their calls of terror sharp and piercing. From the relative safety of the branches, they watch the victor feed. This is their existence, a life of watching their own perish from a safe distance. But one young female, her heart hammering against her ribs, sees something else. She watches the bird's movement. It is a creature of the straight line, a javelin of flesh and fury. It does not turn well. Its power is entirely in its forward momentum. This flicker of intelligence, this moment of analytical observation in the midst of paralyzing terror, is a profound shift. She is not just seeing a monster, she is seeing a machine. And the machine, however terrifying, has weaknesses. In her mind, a new, dangerous thought begins to form. A thought that could either save her people or lead them into an even more spectacular death. The days that follow the attack are a study in collective trauma. The clan stays deep within the tree line, their foraging range shrinking to a circle of near starvation. The grass sea whispers threats. The ghost of the terror bird is everywhere. The young female, however, is not haunted by the past, but obsessed with the future. She leaves the safety of the clan, a dangerous act in itself, and begins to study the landscape. Her focus is not on food, but on the architecture of the natural world. This is a profound cognitive leap, a shift from reactive survival to proactive problem-solving. It's a critical moment in the long story of human evolution. She observes a small, fleet-footed mammal. Her lead top turns, being chased by a predator. As the creature flees, it jinks into a dense thicket of thorny, interlocking shrubs. Its pursuer, unable to follow its speed, gives up the chase. The female watches, her mind connecting to separate events. The terror bird straight line attacking the thorny bush's defensive capabilities. The flicker of an idea ignites. What if the trap was not a pit or a snare, but the land itself? The hard choice is now clear. continue to carry and starve, or risk a direct confrontation by luring the monster onto ground of their own choosing. She is formulating one of the first strategic military plans in hominid history. She brings her idea to the others, not with words, but with actions. She leads the clan's dominant male to the thickening, using a long stick to represent the bird. Demonstrates how it would be broken. She mimes throwing stones, making aggressive sounds. It takes time. The concept is alien. These early humans have only ever known two responses to the terror bird: freeze or flee. The idea of standing their ground, of manipulating the monster, is terrifying. Yet, their gnawing hunger makes them desperate enough to listen. They are seeing an act of pure foresight, and it is both frightening and compelling. Slowly, a consensus forms. They will try. The preparation is a testament to their growing ingenuity. They cannot forge steel or build walls, but they can use what the world provides. Under the female's guidance, the clan begins to gather stones, not sharp flakes for cutting, but round, heavy river stones. They find long, tough vines and, with their nimble fingers, begin weaving. This is the birth of a new piece of primitive technology. They tie 2 or 3 stones together with a length of vine, creating a weighted, whirling weapon, the first bolas. This is an act of pure altruism and community. Each member contributes, the young ones finding the best vines, the strong males carrying the heaviest stones, the old ones lending their experienced hands to the intricate knots. As they work, they are not just making tools, they are weaving their courage into a net, preparing to cast it at a living nightmare. They are a small, fragile clan of ancient humans, but they are about to go to war with a giant. The hunt begins with a sacrifice. A single, brave male is chosen as the law. His task is the most terrifying of all: to run out into the open, to make himself a target, and to draw the eye of the ambushed predator. He carries no spear, only the heavy weight of his clan's survival. This is the ultimate test of their new strategy of cooperative hunting. He moves across the savanna, a small, solitary figure in a vast, hostile world. For a long, hard-minded stopping hour, nothing happens. Then, the drumming begins. The Phorusrhacid acid erupts from its grassy hiding place, a feathered engine of death closing the distance with terrifying speed. This is the emotional turning point, the moment of absolute commitment. There is no retreat. The lure runs. He is not running for his life in the traditional sense. He is running a pre-Midas planned route, a deadly choreography designed to lead the monster to its doom. The bird, a creature of pure, linear aggression, follows without deviation. As they approach the designated area, the rest of the clan explodes from their hiding places. They scream. They beat the ground with sticks. They hurl rocks. The noise is a wall of sound, a chaotic, disorienting assault designed not to injure, but to channel. The terror bird, momentarily confused by the sudden appearance of a dozen screaming apes, is funneled by the noise and movement directly towards the dense, thorny thicket. It is a masterpiece of psychological warfare, a tactic born from the unique anthropology of a creature that can think and act as one. Just as the bird realizes its error, the bows fly, thrown with desperate strength. The whirling stones wrap around the creature's powerful legs. The first one misses. The second glances off, but the third finds its mark. The bird's fluid, impossibly fast stride is broken. It tumbles, shrieking with rage and confusion. Its forward momentum gone. It crashes headfirst into the thorny labyrinth they prepared for it. The trap is sprung. The bird's greatest asset, its spade, is now its prison, entangled in the vines and thorns. It cannot build momentum. It can only thrash, its massive beak snapping at the air, its powerful legs tangled and useless. The clan does not close in for a heroic kill. Their victory is not in the creature's death, but in its neutralization. They have turned the tables, transforming themselves from prey into architects of the landscape. From a safe distance, they watch the giant exhaust itself, its fury slowly giving way to exhaustion. They have not defeated it with brute force, but with intelligence, cooperation, and a profound understanding of their enemy's nature. This moment marks a monumental shift in the saga of prehistory. These small, clever Australopithecus have learned a vital lesson that will echo down through the ages. You do not have to be the strongest thing on the savanna to survive. You only have to be the smartest. They have tamed a thunderbolt, not by breaking it, but by leading it to a place where it could not strike. What we have witnessed here, on this ancient savanna, is the birth of strategy. This was not a hunt. It was a battle, and it was won not with fang and claw, but with the abstract power of intellect. That young female's observation, that spark of a cognitive leap, is the direct ancestor of every complex plan our species has ever conceived. The coordination of the clan, the invention of the bolas, the manipulation of the landscape, these are the first faint blueprints for the tactics that would eventually allow a small, physically unimpressive primate to dominate a planet of giants. They prove that the most effective weapon in the universe is a mind that can see the world not just as it is, but as it could be. This encounter was a critical lesson in the long, brutal education of our lineage. The predator you can outminus think is the predator you can defeat. Every time we lay a plan, set a trap, or use our opponent's strength against them, we are channeling the spirit of these small, brave human ancestors who stood before a living nightmare and chose not to run, but to think. Their courage was not in facing the monster, but in believing in their own idea. The oldest stories are not told in words, but in the instincts that keep us alive. Even in the deepest past, the future is being forged.